Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news. Yes, it's the Euros, yes, it's all about England, and yes, I'm going to be on That's Football for it, but there is news to bring you about Manchester United, and United is what matters, regardless of the Euro bubble. So, we're going to be talking about De Ligt, we're going to be talking about INACIO, we're going to be talking about Yeni Loro, we're going to have a little chat about Eriksen, and we're also going to be asking, as we are in the poll at the moment, who would you rather take out of Branthwaite, INACIO from Sporting Lisbon, or De Ligt from Ajax? Because I think Manchester United, it is safe to say, are playing a bit of a power play here. They've put their bid in for Branthwaite. They're openly being linked to De Ligt. And now we've got a story coming in from Portugal that Manchester United have labelled Gonçalo INACIO as a definitive target, and they are ready to activate his £50 million release clause before the end of the month. He's another name linked to Manchester United, and he's another option to bring in as a centre-back, as there are many. And I know, like we said about Zubamendi yesterday, I know INACIO is a player that many of you have mentioned before as a potential player to bring in to Manchester United. So could it be Branthwaite and INACIO, left-footed, right-footer? Could it? Yes, it could. Or could this be United saying to Everton, and it would be very clever, and we haven't done it before, there's a bid for... I mean, look, imagine it goes like this. 35 million plus 8 in add-ons for Branthwaite. Everton say no, and Man United say, see you later. We're off to do a deal for De Ligt or INACIO. Now, I think what I think is really interesting here is that, let me just play devil's advocate. So, Sky Sports reporting today that Ajax have said for £42 million is yours in relation to De Ligt. Sorry, not Ajax, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have said for £42 million, De Ligt is yours. And interestingly, in the poll at the moment, if you're watching live, either or, Branthwaite, De Ligt or INACIO, Branthwaite's got 45% of the vote, De Ligt's got 27% of the vote, and 28% goes to INACIO. So keep those votes coming in. But it is interesting that De Ligt is there with that. His haircut is ridiculous for his age, says Naz. I didn't realise that when you had a haircut, they didn't let you have it because you were over 40. Stunning stuff. I'll tell you what, I'll keep doing what I want to do. You keep doing what you want to do. Get in your lane, touch grass, and do one. Young at heart. That kit's awful. I mean, I can change it. I've got the away kit, but it's coming home. And Seb was wearing the other kit, so I thought I'd go for white. We were playing in the garden this afternoon. Look, I think it's really positive that most of you are going with Branthwaite. I'll tell you who I would go for. But remember what? Some people don't like this. I've been saying we won't go for De Ligt because he's on 250 grand a week and it's 42 million pounds. 250 grand a week is £1 million a month, which is 12 million pounds a year. It is. I'm right. I've done my maths. I've done my right. It's 12 million pounds a year. We're going to play Branthwaite 160 grand a week, which will be a lot less than that. A lot less than that. However, if you are paying 42 million pounds for De Ligt, but you've got to pay 55 million pounds for Branthwaite, that's 13 million pounds more for Branthwaite, which goes a long way towards the wages. What I'm trying to say is, I'm sat here saying, there ain't no way we're going to go for De Ligt because his wages are too big at 250 grand. But if you get De Ligt for 42 million and 250 grand a week wages, but you get Branthwaite at 55 million plus add-ons and 160 grand a week, in 2 years' time, who's cost you more money? So, look, and also, do Man United give De Ligt 250 grand a week? Maybe they get him for a little bit less than that. So, you know, I'm only playing devil's advocate. I still think it's too expensive. I don't think Manchester United will do anything about it. But you do have to look at how the deal would be. And let's not forget, of course, it still works out more expensive for De Ligt. But if Branthwaite comes to United and does all right, he might want a wage increase in a couple of years anyway. And that wage gets closer. So, look, maybe there is something around De Ligt with Man United. But I personally think it's Bayern Munich who are pushing that choice. If I'm being really... I know he said edgy. I don't like that word. If I'm being really hipster, what about you don't bother going for De Ligt. You pay 50 million quid for INACIO. He ain't going to be on 150 grand a week, is he? And he's the cheapest of all three. You know, De Ligt for 42 million and 250 grand a week is still expensive. Branthwaite for 55 million on 150 grand a week is still expensive. INACIO for 50 million on probably 120 grand a week is the cheapest of the lot. Because there's no way INACIO's coming from Sporting Lisbon and getting 150 grand a week. So he would probably be the cheapest of the three. Financially, he's probably the cheapest of the three. Tadebo's the cheapest of the lot. You know, 35 million quid, 120 grand a week. So there are cheaper deals you can do. But I'm encouraged by this because I think it is a power play. I think Man United have got to play the power play. And one thing I will say about the Harry Maguire deal that people keep wanting to mention around Branthwaite is when we bought Harry Maguire, who was the alternative? And Drip Football says INACIO's better than Branthwaite. I don't think anybody can answer that apart from probably a handful of people in the chat. I can't answer that. I don't want to answer that. I don't think most of you can answer that. To answer that, you've got to watch a lot of INACIO, and I haven't. I know what he's about, but I haven't. So it's very difficult for me to say whether he's better or not. But when we bought Harry Maguire and we had our pants pulled down and we gave him 190 grand a week and a 7-year deal and 80 million pounds to Leicester, it's horrific. But we had nowhere else to go. And when I look at this summer transfer window, not only are INEOS hopefully going to be better than the Glazers, but also there are so many options out there. You can walk away. You can play hardball. I don't think we walk away from the Branthwaite deal. I think we just play hardball and we say, look, you're asking for stupid money for a player that isn't even an international footballer in the Euros. And we're looking at De Ligt, who's in the Dutch squad. We're looking at INACIO's in the Portuguese squad. They're cheaper. Why is it that you want stupid money for this player? And I think that's where it comes down to it. Dance1211 says, Branthwaite is worth 80 million to us no matter what. If you don't think he's worth it, we'll gladly keep him. We're not struggling on FFP, by the way. Dance1211, I've got no interest in getting into an argument with Evertonians. You know, stay in your lane, argue your corner, absolutely. The only thing I'll say before we just leave it is Branthwaite wants to leave you and play for us. It's like being in a relationship where, you know, you're down the pub and you come and have a go at me. And this is hypothetical. I'm a happily married man. You come and have a go at me because your missus is fantasizing about me. And I go, look, I'm happy to take her off your hands. Obviously, this is hypothetical. And you're going, she's going nowhere. She's going nowhere. And I'll go, that's fine. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Look at me. But when you go home tonight and you go to sleep, just remember, she don't want to be with you. See you later. I'm off clubbing. And it's true. That's what it is. I mean, I'm not having a go at Everton. I'm not having a go. If we don't get Branthwaite, plenty more fish in the sea. But Branthwaite wants to come to Man United. It's true, isn't it? And that's not... I'm not having a go at Everton. I'm really not. If you want to keep him and you want to dig your heels in, please, you know, do what you want to do. But you know what? I've got some players that we've used and we want to get rid of that might be happy to come and play with you. So I just think that there's a deal to be done with Everton. But if they want to play the game, we'll play the game and walk away. Because I personally think Branthwaite is a good signing for Man United, but I don't think that INACIO or Tadebo or I suppose De Ligt to a certain extent are you know, bad signings. And I certainly don't think that Branthwaite is worth 80 million quid. On Lenny Yoro, by the way, I mean, look, I hate to be proven right sometimes, but I've never been on that train. Never for 1 second have I been on that train. And he's going to go to Real Madrid. That's been developing today. So there we go. I've just been given some amazing news, which I have to double check because it would be naive of me if I've got this wrong. Well, no, I haven't got this wrong. INACIO's left-footed. INACIO's left-footed. So, as I said, I don't know loads about the player. I've seen, you know, probably a handful of games. We know about him. We've been linked to him for 2 years. But he's left-footed as well. So, if INACIO's better than Jared Branthwaite, then he's cheaper. His wage is going to be cheaper. And he's left-footed as well. But you've got to bear in mind that you have got the whole British homegrown talent thing as well. I think I agree with you as well, just Keevan. We do need 2 centre-backs. Could it be the United are blagging with the deal to drive Everton down, Branthwaite's price. Clubs do that kind of stuff to us, says Ollie. Yeah, 100%. Look, you know, that's why it says on the thumbnail, it's a power play. We want Branthwaite, but we are hopefully saying that we're looking at other people. Now, whether Everton want to call our bluff is up to them. Only we know. Andy says, go with whoever's the least injury prone. HKA says, there's no talk about us going for Todibo. No talks regarding any bid. I'm getting worried he's a baller. There is. Listen to Fabrizio. We know that Ten Hag's a big admirer of Todibo. We know he's high on the list. We know that Nice is owned by INEOS. I don't think there needs to be any concerns about Todibo because that deal is an open goal. It doesn't mean we do it. I think is a very, very high chance of him coming to Manchester United. It doesn't mean we do it, but I wouldn't be worried about the lack of talk about it because we control that deal. If we want to do it, we'll do it. Like, it's not like Spurs can go to Nice and say, do us a deal with Todibo without Sir Jim Radcliffe knowing about it. He owns Nice. So if we don't sign Todibo, it's because we don't want to sign Todibo. And we could hold that deal until August. I mean, for me, that deal should be the second centre-back. It should be Branthwaite and Todibo, or INACIO and Todibo, or De Ligt and Todibo. And what I would like to see happen with Todibo is, because we're trying to sign strikers and midfielders, and because we probably haven't got all the money to buy everybody at the same time, if I was INEOS, I would be saying to Todibo, we will sign you at Man United, go on holiday, do your pre-season with Nice, you're coming to Manchester United, you're coming to the Premier League, but you're probably not coming until the end of July, early August. Because what's going to happen is we've got to get other players in, and it's not that you're not a priority, it's just because we know we've got you, and it's going to massively help us to go after players where we're going to have a bit more competition. And we will get you, but you'll be coming a little bit later in the summer. Because we control that deal if we want it. That second centre-back for 35 million, you can kick it to the end of the summer transfer window or put it towards the end, knowing that that deal is in the bag. And how often do you do that? It doesn't mean we will do it, but I just think it's there in the bag to do. Do you think we could beat Juventus to Calafiori from Bologna? I mean, look, he played very, very well last night. Sesko played very well today. Yeah, but it's the Euros, mate. I can't be scouting people in the Euros. Obviously, we were scouting Sesko before. Southgate, you're the one. You still turn me on, says Daniel Sturridge. Can't wait for tonight. I'm looking forward to tonight, but I don't need the Southgate songs. I'm thinking to start membership on my small channel. Ask if it work on a channel with 1k subs, says Junior. Just go for it. Give it a try. Get the lad from Spain with an Nacho. Zubamendi, says Sam May. And could it be... Oh, I've done that one as well. Yeah, look, I think that in relation to the poll, 43% with Branthwaite, 29% with De Ligt, 28% with INACIO, who is left-footed, interestingly. I hadn't even realised that myself. But the news today is that from Portugal, Man United are looking at INACIO. From Sky Sports, that Man United have been set a price of £42 million for De Ligt. And obviously with the Branthwaite deal, I just wonder... and suspect that what we're doing here is a power play. We're basically saying there are other options. And as much as we want Branthwaite because we bidded for him. And also, the great thing about Man United here as well is everybody knows that we might buy two. So you're not making De Ligt or INACIO or Todibo you're not making them feel like the second choice because we probably will sign two. So, but we might not sign two. We might sign one. So it's a very good position for Manchester United to be in with regards to how we manipulate the situation. And I think that, for me, we should be getting some movement on this early this week in relation to Branthwaite and Everton, because you don't whack a bid in and get it rejected and then leave it for 3 or 4 weeks. We will be moving quick on this because there's lots of other deals that we need to do as well. Jay says, bit off topic, but has there been any news on a medical/fitness staff? I think we're finally getting smarter in the market, but we need consistency, says Jay. Bradley's been a member for 9 months. In relation to the medical staff and the fitness staff, that will all be revolutionised. There is people coming in from Arsenal already. I mean, there was one at the end of the season. I think that those sort of things will obviously happen and do need to happen. look, there's going to be a lot of change at Manchester United. There's £50 million being spent at Carrington, and it starts tomorrow. Damien says, I think INACIO is actually better than Branthwaite. Both are left-footed centre-backs. INACIO is much better on the ball and has a great range of passing. I mean, look, I haven't brought this into the show, but I read an article from Portugal this morning that had us linked to a Norwegian left-back who plays for Benfica, whose name escapes me, João Neves, and the centre-back Silva in a £150 million treble signing. So, look, they can get quite excited, the Portuguese press, which is why I might take the INACIO story with a bit of pinch of salt. But, you know, I wouldn't mind João Neves and Silva from Benfica as well. I wouldn't mind INACIO from Sporting Lisbon. I wouldn't mind Homeland from there. He's a left winger, the Norwegian guy, says interesting vids. John Dirham says that Scalvini is the defender we should be buying. He's had a bad knee injury, mate. He won't be ready for the start of the season, so that's not going to happen. De Ligt refused in the past, leave him out, says Big. Forget the British market because it's too expensive, says Tony. Well, look, it's interesting what was said there, that INACIO is better than Branthwaite. I can't give you that information. I like Branthwaite from what I've seen. But what I would also say is that we are also going to have to buy British where we can because of the homegrown rule. I think that's still going to be a factor for Manchester United as well. Yeah, I do. I really, really do. Nice jersey, Mark. Don't forget, we're early tonight and we'll be early tomorrow night for 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock shows will be at 7 o'clock because of the Euros. And it's going to be a massive stream tonight. England against Serbia. I've just watched Denmark. I know Beth and Ricky did the watch along, which I was listening to whilst watching it. But look, yeah, just very, very quickly on that. 1-1, I think Slovenia deserved a point. I was a bit surprised by Denmark. I expected them to do a little bit better. In fairness, I thought Rasmus had a very similar game to what he has for Manchester United. It was slim pickings, really. But I tell you what, I said this about Juan Mata for years, and I thought, you know what? It's a bit of a weird time at the moment. There's lots of transfer stuff to talk about. It's not really about football because we're not playing any games with United for a while. And this guy's probably going to leave. But I'm going to say it because I've said it so many times. When I thought of Christian Eriksen before he came to Man United, if somebody said to me, what's Christian Eriksen's position? I would say he's a number 10. I've always thought of him as a number 10. We've obviously played him as an 8, which is absolutely fine. I haven't got a problem with that. But looking at him today with his goal, there's no way he's a number 8 at Man United. There's no way he's a number 8. He hasn't got the legs. And just like Juan Mata, I do just think Eriksen at a 10 probably still has quite a lot to offer. We're never going to use him as a 10 because we've got Bruno and we've also got Mason Mount. But I was just watching Denmark today and I just thought, you know what? It's another Juan Mata, isn't it? It's a player that we've brought into the club and not used them properly. I really think Christian Eriksen's a 10. And I think wherever he goes, that's where he's going to end up playing. Talking of which, Turkey is apparently a destination for Eriksen. And I'll add that into this as well, because we're not just talking about the Euros here. Eriksen scoring in the Euros, brilliant. Brilliant. Because we're looking for options to move him on. He's looking for options to move on because he wants to play more regularly. So Christian Eriksen playing well for Denmark and scoring a goal just pricks up the ears of a lot of clubs who'll be looking at him anyway. So I think it's really good for Christian Eriksen. I was very pleased for him, obviously, because of what happened in the last Euros. Also Lindelof, who obviously is not part of the Euros as well. So he's another... We're quite fortunate. We've got Greenwood, Sancho, Lindelof, Maguire, who are not at the Euros for different reasons, who, if we're looking to move them on, can all be having chats. Their agents could be working right now. Apparently, Fenerbahce, Mourinho, are looking at Lindelof, but they only want to pay about 10 million quid, which I think is a little bit cheap, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, definitely. Stefan, thank you very much for being a member and gift as well. Appreciate that. Rasmus will come good. He's still young. Oh, I can't be bothered with the Ras. You know, I saw it with Szoboszlai yesterday. I saw it with Gakpo this afternoon. And I saw it with Rasmus today. People on social media slagging off players that I just can't believe. I can't believe Szoboszlai's being called shit. I can't believe Gakpo's being called shit. And I can't believe Rasmus is being called shit. It's just this immediacy that exists in certain football fans in the modern world where if you don't do something in one game, you're shit. And I would take Szoboszlai at Man United. I would take Gakpo at Man United. And I'm very happy to have Rasmus at United. If Bellingham has a crap game tonight, it'll be shit. And it baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. Mainoo's probably shit because he's not been picked. I just don't get the judgment of players these days. Rasmus is average at the moment. Just accept it, says Drip. Yeah, last 2 games he came on as a sub for Man United and scored 2 individual goals. Yeah, he's bang average, mate. On recent form, he's really average. Yeah. Last 2 games he came on for United and scored 2 goals. Obviously in the FA Cup final he didn't start, but yeah, his form for United at the moment is horrific. It was a terrible first season, wasn't it, for a young lad in the Premier League with no service? Absolutely terrible. Just admit it, you don't like the player. That's what it is. It's player FC, isn't it? Let's call a spade what it is. You don't like Rasmus for some reason. That's what it is. You're not giving the lad a chance. You probably don't like Bruno for the same reason, or Rashford for the same reason, or Luke Shaw for the same reason. It's on your list of players that you don't like that wear a shirt of a club that you apparently support. And I wish this type of fan would do one, but unfortunately it doesn't. It becomes more and more prominent year after year where we have fans in our fan base and at other clubs who seem to like to dig out players from their own club, and I don't get it. I really don't. There's no player at Man United I don't want to score when they're on the pitch. I would sell Scott McTominay. I would sell Victor Lindelof, but I don't dislike them when they get picked. But genuinely, I was watching that game today with the watch along, and there's names that I know from the United stand digging out Rasmus Højlund, and I'm like, I just don't get this. I just don't get this mentality. It's a weird one to me. Do you have any names or numbers on your back? Maybe Southgate? No, I'm too old for that, Howder. None of that. None of that anymore. None of that. Definitely. This is not That's Football. That's why we're talking about United Stand, Ken. Anyway, talking about that, I do need to get over there because we're going to be live on That's Football for the England game. Get the beers in a couple of minutes' time. So I will see you over there for that. Let me just make sure that I've done what I thought I should do and just do the little redirect for you. I have done. Great. Yeah, well, look, it's you got to hold and give and do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you, defend and attack. There's only one way to get them, get round the back. So catch me if you can, because I'm an England man, and what you're looking at is the master plan. We're singing for England. Well, you might not be, but I certainly am. It's coming home. I will see you over there in a couple of minutes' time. Thanks, everyone, tonight. Just a quick update. There was some news. I wanted to react to it, and we will be doing that throughout this Euros. We will not be derailed by a big summer for Manchester United. And personally, I'm very, very happy that we're being linked to other centre-backs because we don't want to have our pants pulled down by Branthwaite. But the Euro deal, forget it. It's done. He's going to go to Real Madrid. We always knew that. Well, some of us did. And I'll see you over on That's Football in a couple of minutes.